there was another one of them there. He was about 18. He was laying down on the desk, with his head on the desk, looking like he was going to sleep. And I thought, my life is in the hands of these people. Two of them looked like they couldn't care less. And you make an effort to look at them each individually and stare them out. You know, this is my story, this is what happened to me. You will listen. The defence was unbelievably rubbish. And he made a fool of himself, and it made me feel better because he didn't really know what he was going on about. And he had no questions to ask me, and he kept repeating himself and kept being told to refer to the statement. If you read such and such a line, you'll see it's there. And it built my confidence up in a way, which was, I don't think was very good, because I got to the sense of security. I stopped crying, I was just sitting there staring at him like, is this guy for real? Anyway, 4 days trial in the Crown Court in Harrow, and I went home. I was first up. I went home. I got a call from a police officer saying, could you come round? He had some news to tell me. And I thought to myself, well, what is it? Surely he'd tell me. Is it guilty, not guilty? What is it? I don't know. And I was racing round. I thought, if he's coming round, surely it's not guilty. He's got away with it. He's coming round. Why would you want to come round? Him and the prosecuting police officer, Rosie, turned up, and they said it's good and bad news. Good news is, bad news is it's a hung jury. Good news is it's not guilty. We can go again. We'll take it again if you're willing to. And to think that those people couldn't decide about this man that had been abusing me, had put me through hell, had held a knife to my throat and raped me. They couldn't decide if he'd done it or not. So I thought, if I give up now, he might as well have got a not guilty, he might as well have just walked free. So I thought, let's go at it. I had enough fight left in me to go at it again. The court case was fast-tracked to August 2011. And I went in there knowing that last time the defence barrister was appalling. But I found out that he'd only just got the case that morning. So he'd not read anything. He'd not, you know, he had no idea what he was dealing with. And that's why he was humiliated like that. And I thought to myself, there is no way he is going to be humiliated again. There is no way he is going to walk into that courtroom and have nothing to say to me again. He'd had months to study it, to pick at it. When I walked in there, he started playing on my dead family. He brought up my dead aunt and how Ashley was there for me through that. He brought up my nan who'd just passed in December before the attack, after the attack. and how during the lead up to her death he was there for me. He was supporting me. He was comforting me. He was painting this picture of him to be someone who could do no wrong, a loving, kind person. I remember looking at Ashley in the background, behind the glass. He had his feet up on the desk, arms behind his head, relaxed in his chair, as if he knew. He knew what was going to happen. I gave that one my all. I gave it everything. I found out that the neighbour who had witnessed everything, the neighbour that had knocked on the door and said he'd call the police, that I think it was him who swayed the jury not to believe me, because a lot of what he had to say didn't coincide with what happened. He said that when I was standing at the door, when he was standing at the door and I was standing in the hall, that I was fully clothed, I had jeans on, and I never once told him that he was trying to rape me. When I was standing there, naked, waist down, screaming at him that he was trying to rape me. And it made me sick to think that this person's supposed to be my witness and he can't recall what happened to me. He can't do what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to be my witness. And he was there for me. He was there to help me. But he couldn't remember what happened properly. And I think because Ashley got to go last, he'd heard everything of the case. He heard me, he heard the witness, the police officers, the medical report, the 999 tape, and he could build his story around everything. And he could pick and he can choose. And he can play on certain things. And he did. They found him not guilty. He got away with raping me. Away with abusing me. Away with holding a knife to my throat. Away with making me feel inferior. And he just got away with it all. Just like that. He's free to go out the same door I walked in. My police officer phoned me, and because I wasn't in London the time I had to go away, I couldn't live in my flat anymore. I couldn't live in London anymore. I couldn't be around everything, all the memories. He phoned me and he said, "Not guilty, I'm afraid." Just like that. And he said, "I'm so sorry." He said the judge was biased, and the judge pretty much made up the jurors' minds for them. The judge's closing statement said there is no possible way this man could have committed this crime, and he influenced their decision. And he said, "I'm sorry." And he said, "I know you must hate me. And I know you must think I've let you down. But I want you to know that we did everything we could. But it just wasn't enough." And I just stayed silent. And he said he'd let me go, speak to whoever I needed to speak to, and he would call me another day. I remember hanging up the phone and I just dropped to the floor. And I just started screaming. And then something inside of me thought, you know what, Sarah? Get up, pick yourself up. You can do this. Do not let him win. Do not let him make you crippled to the floor. He's done that too many times. Get up, pick yourself up and hold your head up high. Because you tried your damn hardest. And I gave it everything I had. And I knew in myself I'd given it everything. And if it wasn't enough, then it wasn't enough. I can't change what happened. I can only look back and learn. And get on with my life. And I will not let him dominate my life anymore. I will not let him affect me, and I will continue to trust in men. I will continue to love, to smile, to laugh, and I will continue to tell my story. And how it's affected me and how I'm dealing with it. I came to find out that he's entitled to over £60,000 in compensation, and it made me think that, talk about rewarding him for a rape job well done. Here's 60k. Good job.